Shaun Norris looked like he was heading toward a huge victory at the Nexo Championship. He had the lead, he had momentum, and after producing one of the most spectacular shots of the tournament just a day earlier, everything seemed to be going his way. Then, on the fifth hole, one tiny incident changed everything. And suddenly, Norris was hit with a two-shot penalty that completely transformed his final round. But here's the question everyone is asking. Was the penalty really justified? Before we get into the controversy, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications, because we bring you the biggest and most dramatic stories from the world of golf. Now, let's go back to where this incredible story began. Shaun Norris entered the final round of the Nexo Championship in a fantastic position. He was sitting at the top of the leaderboard with a two-shot advantage, and his confidence was understandable. During the third round, Norris had produced an extraordinary albatross, a shot that immediately became one of the biggest highlights of the tournament. He had smashed a three-wood from more than 260 yards and somehow found the hole in just two shots. An albatross. That shot helped propel him into contention and gave him the momentum heading into Sunday. So when the final round began, Norris had every reason to believe that this could be his day. But golf can change incredibly quickly, and on the fifth hole, Norris found himself at the center of a rules controversy. Before playing his shot, Norris removed a replaced divot that was underneath his feet. At first glance, it looked like a tiny and almost insignificant action, but officials determined that by removing the divot, Norris had improved the area of his intended stance. Under the rules, that meant he had committed a breach. The punishment? 2 shots. And that's where the story gets even more dramatic. Norris had made par on the hole, but after the penalty was added, that par effectively became a double bogey on his scorecard. A 2-shot swing, and suddenly, the comfortable lead he had worked so hard to build was under serious threat. Even more frustratingly, reports indicate that Norris didn't immediately know about the penalty. He reportedly learned about it while making his way toward the 10th tee. Imagine that. You're trying to win a DP World Tour event. You're fighting for every shot, and halfway through your round, you're told that you've effectively been given 2 extra strokes because of something that happened several holes earlier. From that point, the momentum began to disappear. Norris struggled to recover and eventually signed for a 76. He finished tied for 7th at 5 under par. And while Norris was falling away, another player was taking advantage. Scotland's Scott Jamieson produced a superb final round. Jamieson shot a 67, including crucial birdies that helped him pull away from the chasing pack. By the end of the day, Jamieson had won the Nexo Championship by 2 shots. And that makes Norris's penalty even more painful, because this wasn't simply a rules issue that happened during a meaningless round. It came while Norris was competing for the championship, and the 2-shot penalty played a major role in changing the shape of the leaderboard. Now this is where golf fans are divided. Some believe the officials got it absolutely right. The rules exist for a reason. If a player deliberately or accidentally improves the area of their stance, there can be consequences. And officials have to apply the rules consistently, whether the player is leading a tournament or playing near the bottom of the leaderboard. But others believe the incident raises a bigger question. Should a tiny movement like this really be capable of changing the outcome of an entire championship? That's why this story is likely to generate so much debate, because you can understand both sides. Norris didn't appear to be trying to gain some massive advantage, but under the rules, intent isn't always enough to avoid a penalty. And in professional golf, sometimes the smallest action can have the biggest consequences. Think about how different this story could have been. Norris had the lead. He had already produced an incredible albatross. He was positioned perfectly to chase another DP World Tour victory. Instead, one decision involving a divot became the turning point of his final round, and Scott Jamieson walked away with the trophy. That's the brutal side of professional golf. You can hit an incredible shot one day and then lose your chance at victory because of something that takes just a few seconds. So now I want to hear from you. Was Shaun Norris's 2-shot penalty fair, or was the punishment too harsh for what happened? Drop your opinion in the comments. And if you enjoy golf stories involving controversy, incredible shots, and dramatic finishes, subscribe to the channel, because there's plenty more coming. This was one of those tournaments where the difference between winning and losing came down to the smallest details. And for Shaun Norris, unfortunately, one of those details may have cost him the championship.